Hey, welcome. Good to be with you again, my dear family. We are doing spiritual leadership session number 5. So this session, the name of this session is Serve as Second. So you remember you follow first, and then the second thing is you serve. So first you follow, we follow Jesus, and we serve his people. So Mark chapter 10 verse 45, Christ led by serving. Very important characteristics that needs to be part of our church's DNA. The root of who we are is we are a serving community. So serving as a leader is what the world see as Jesus is following through us. Remember, we're not working for Jesus, Jesus is working through us. Christ was a servant who sacrificed his life for us and called us to be his servants. So we're following our master, who was the master's servant. Serving involves 3 key elements. They all start with a C. So it's character. Character is who we are. Community is our relationship with people. And the calling to connection to God's purposes. Beautiful lesson we're going to do. We're going to talk about character, we're going to talk about community, and we talk about calling. So let's start with character. And if you do not know where I am, I'm page 21. Character. Leadership models humility. Number 1. 2. Integrity. 3. Obedience. 4. Respect and maturity. 5 important aspects of character. That is humility, integrity, obedience, respect and maturity. So Christ's leadership in us changes us. Christ in us, he manifests through us, and in the process he changes us into his image. And that develops God's character noted above. So Jesus is the character changer. These attributes are displayed in and through us. How? By our dying to self. That painful process. Then obedience. The flesh struggles with obedience, and that brings us to maturity. So we embrace our difficulties and our weaknesses so that his power is evident. Struggles mold us, resulting in humility, maturity, and these build bridges of trust. Character is integrity, grace, and respect. Just go and think through this first verse. It's very important. We embraced our difficulty. If you push it away, it becomes more difficult. But if you embrace difficulty, you are now in my life. And you are here, sent by God to change me, to form me. So embrace the difficulty. And then our weaknesses resulted in his power is evident in us. So struggles mold us, resulting in humility and maturity, and these build bridges of trust. So because we go through struggles, people can identify with us. Character building process. The process of character formation is first growing and preserving through trials. Go and read James. Then 2 Corinthians said, God uses our pain and he brings about healing, and that process of receiving healing, what we receive, we can minister to other people. Experiencing this, the crucible, God does not waste pain. He uses it to open doors of ministry. Our pain becomes our ministry. Only the secure can be humble. Isn't that true? Insecure people are also always proudful, boastful, and they hide their immaturity and insecurity through masks of being loud, arrogant, masks of showing you in control, but in fact you're not. And only the humble can truly serve. So growing into maturity and a heart of thankfulness and gratitude. So, how is the Lord producing character qualities in your life? I'm going to give you some time after this session. There's three 3 discussions which you're going to go through in the session. So the first one you're going to discuss with one another is how is the Lord producing character qualities in you. Then developing character comes from the Lord working directly in our spirit, using difficulties to train us and using one another to speak into our lives. The Lord uses people to point to our blind spots and to encourage us to grow. So important. As a leader, who are you accountable to? Who can speak into your life? Who is your accountability partner? Who is praying to you? Who is speaking into your lives? In his book, Good to Great, Jim Collins speaks directly about the idea of a humble leader, what he calls a level 5 leader. The description looks very much like a servant leader. And this leader has got the following characteristics: inspiring humility, tenacious determination, sets up others for success, and the window and the mirror. So interesting principles there. Set other people up for success. So community, leadership values and serves others. Leadership is about relationship and serves people, not tasks. Don't be so task orientated that you use people. No, the focus is on the people. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. So serving, value people, creating a community that brings many gifts and expressions of the Spirit. We need each other to grow in our weaknesses and in our strength. Leadership creates an environment for safety and trust while diligently resolving differences and conflicts. Practically, what would that look like? Beautiful theory. How do we practice it? Leadership is all about people, yet people can be messy and challenging. Leadership steps into tension and seeks the good of the person and the situation. Next one is calling. Calling involves leadership lives and engages in God's purposes. We are to know the hope of our calling. First of all, the hope of our calling. The purpose gives our leadership direction. So purpose gives direction and priorities and hope. So let me read that again. First of all, hope of our calling is we know the hope of our calling. So what is the purpose? Our purpose gives our leadership direction. So purpose gives direction, priorities and hope. We are created for good works and to walk in them. So that the factor on defending your purpose from a biblical framework, we are His workmanship. We are His workmanship. You are the workmanship of God. You are His masterpiece, created in Christ for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we could walk in them. So, how would you state the Lord's purposes and calling for your life? So the third question after this session, you're going to discuss these 3 questions. So application, find an accountability group where you as leader can gain input and grow. By now, you know each other, you've worked through many manuals, you have probably had very good accountability partners. So build on that and train your people to be in groups like that. Make a list of people you serve. How can you invest in their lives to help them? Life purpose. Align yourself with God's universal purpose for evangelism, reaching people with the gospel, and then training people to be mature in Christ, to be a people who is fulfilling their life purpose. Write out and begin to live it. Let it guide your priorities. Ask yourself these questions as you begin to write your purpose. First of all, how would I like to be remembered? What is most important? Identify your priorities, your life accounts. What are God's priorities and purposes that will help frame your priorities? Resources. What are your spiritual gifts, talents, temperaments, personalities, and passions? What have God equipped you to fulfill your calling? Plan of action. What will I begin to do? Think through where you are and where you want to be. So this homework you're going to do, and then tomorrow you're going to share that with your accountability partner. Go through this again. Spend time with us. This will give you direction. Attitudes and actions. Number 4, encourage. We are to encourage and build others up. We grow when we disciple and help others grow. Serving begins by putting the interest of others first and our needs and personal interests second. The big idea, leaders serve as second. Second to the Lord and second to people. Serving others is the practical side of leadership that begins to be tangible, something people see and react to. Practical takeaway, servant leaders keep things simple. This is about people's accomplishing a task. We serve others while prioritizing and acting to the top priorities. That is the end of our session. So you're going to spend some time with the 3 questions and then you need to do your homework before we start with session 6. Bless you.